So thank you everyone for joining us for our weekly home-based business class where we just share our stories and review with everyone why now would be an amazing time to start a home-based business, give a little bit clarity on how this could possibly be an additional stream of income for you, why health and wellness is awesome, and why many of us that are already on the line have chosen to partner with Young Living Essential Oils to do that. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Sheila, and she is going to share with us her story. After that, I will share my story, and then we'll share some data and content with you guys. Oh, you're on mute, Sheila. Sheila, you're still on mute. I still can't hear you.
Okay. You broke up a little bit. I'm sure it's on my side, the internet. So if I freeze or something, excuse me, I apologize ahead of time. Sometimes my internet gets kind of slow. So welcome everybody. I am so happy and grateful that you are here today. And I can't see everybody who's here right now, but I just know that you're going to get so much out of this session today as we talk about Young Living. It's a little bit about our products or why Young Living, and also why we do this business. And so I am Sheila Sherman. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I am from Detroit, but I've been living in Canada for 20 years now. And basically I started with Young Living about 12 years ago. I've already been a person who was into alternative types of remedies, but I had not at all considered quote unquote aromatherapy. It wasn't huge like it is right now, back 12 years ago. And like maybe some of you that either started recently or haven't started yet, was kind of skeptical. What can these oils do? Well, I was very skeptical. I did not believe in it, but I went ahead and tried some just because, I'm a curious person. I came across it. My sister contacted me and she let me know that the oils helped her daughter. Her daughter at the time was having some chronic fatigue types of issues and symptoms, and she was looking for something natural for her daughter. And that was the first thing she found that actually was making a difference for her daughter. So she called me very, very enthusiastic. And I was not as enthusiastic as she was. But I thought, you know what? I'll try it. I'll try and see. And I am so glad I did. Young Living became, for me, more than just products that were being a huge part of my life, or that I just bought, to becoming a huge part of my life, is what I wanted to say. They went from just these little bottles of oil to a full lifestyle, integrating the essential oils in every area of my health, as well as my kids, raising them on oils. I have 6 kids. I don't think I mentioned that. And I was thinking of something the other day. I have 6 kids. They're almost all grown now. They range from, well, I'll have a 30-year-old next month. His birthday is next month. And then I have a 15-year-old, and I got all those ages in between. And I thought to myself, how many people can now say that their kids have no allergies? None. None of my kids have any allergies. How many kids do you know right now? I mean, we've changed the world, forget the latest thing going on, but all this, we've had to change how we do things with kids because of allergies. You can't bring certain foods around because of allergies, et cetera, et cetera. So we made huge changes for kids and how they interact because of allergies. And that shows that allergies are really, really big. Well, my kids, not one kid had an issue with allergy. What about asthma? Asthma is another area where kids are overrun with that, right? And so that is nothing that I had to deal with raising my kids. And then you know about the controversy over antibiotics, right? And they're necessary at times and they're good. But how many people do you know have 6 kids, and I can count on one hand how many times all 6 kids have ever been on antibiotics. I have a few that have never been on antibiotics. And I attribute that to many things. One is being very aware of toxins, which Young Living is also about, but being very aware of toxins and eliminating toxins and living with less chemicals. Nutrition, of course, is huge. Regular types of things that we need in order to stay healthy, like sleep and digestion and all those basics. Those are really basics. And the essential oils, also having essential oils in our lives and integrating it into our lifestyle. But then that's not it. It goes further to it being an income, another stream of income for our family, and also a heritage, so to speak, something to pass down to my children, because every single one of my adult children are in my organization in Young Living as well. So we're creating family wealth and we're creating family health. And that was really, really important to me when I started 12 years ago. But I didn't even know that Young Living would fit into that picture until after I myself experienced immediate differences in my health, up-leveling my health 12 years ago. So that's just kind of the short version of my story. And I just love to share it, just like I love sharing Young Living and its products, because they work. Simply, they work.
Thank you so much, Sheila. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about my story. And I come from a very, very different world than Sheila. So when I grew up, I really didn't do really a lot of stuff that was all natural. And I was very, very sickly. I had asthma, I had allergies, I had eczema, I would get ringworm. And I just thought that that's the way that life was. I just thought that, you just have to have these medications, had some emotional issues, and I would pop migraines like crazy. By the time I was 21, I had gut issues because I was ruining my stomach from all of the Excedrin. And I exercised. I did like exercising, and I would take a multivitamin here or there, and I might hear that, oh, you should do ester C when you're sick, or do a little bit of zinc, but it wasn't really something that I early on incorporated in my life as a daily practice, all of these alternative things. And so when it comes to what I chose to do as a career, I was standing at, all I really knew is that I wanted to help people. Like, that was my dream, to just be able to help people. And I'm thankful that I'm able to do that in what I consider my real job and my volunteer Bible preaching job. I'm able to help people with that. And so it's not really necessarily important to do that in my day job. My day job can just support me and be whatever. And so part of my heart wanted to be a teacher, but my mom wanted me to get a degree in accounting. And I'm like, I'm definitely not doing that whatsoever. And so I stood there like business education. And I was like, business, that's what's going to make me more money. So I got my business degree. I ended up getting in marketing, and I met someone, and I wanted to be an international product marketing manager where I could introduce new products into different areas. And when I got out of school, the market was saturated. And so everybody wanted 10 years of experience for marketing, and I could not break in the industry. I ended up doing 2 years in real estate management. And then I ended up in the most typical career ever for someone that lives in the state of Michigan, in the automotive industry. So again, that world is, you don't go to an office for automotive, or you don't go to a plant and they are talking about Chinese medicine or diffusing oils, right? Like that is like the farthest you will get from alternative medicine. We wake up, we got a Monster energy drink, we get a Mountain Dew, and we order Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch. Like this is the automotive world that like I've been in for like, you know, the 10 years before I started this journey. Like that's what we come from. We will try to exercise for sure. Like if you're a manager and GM, you get your exercise on, but other than that, you know, you get to 40 and you got high blood pressure and you got high cholesterol, you got all these things, and start getting on medication. You just accept that's what your life is. And that's where my life went. And it went very fast. And for me, when I was very young, I was in my 30s and I developed high blood pressure and I developed gut issues and I developed hormone issues. And I still had the allergies and I still had the asthma and I still had all that stuff on top of it. So I was in my early 30s and on 7 different medications and a lot of pain. I got into a couple accidents and I was like, this is not normal. There has to be another way. This is absolutely not normal. Everyone that I talk to around me has hormone issues, are getting body parts pulled out. They feel exhausted, and we all feel like we're 50 when we're only 30. And this is not normal. And so I started making just the little changes. I started exercising regularly, not making excuses. I did a boot camp. At the time, I was like 190 pounds. In October of 2014, I lost 20 pounds in that 6-week boot camp. They taught me how to eat better. The only thing I eat in the morning almost all the time, no matter what I'm traveling, is egg whites and power greens. So like spinach and kale, etc. And having a salad at least once a day. Like I completely changed how I was eating. And then I started looking for natural solutions. And so I would Google vitamins for hormones, and I would buy $200 worth of vitamins on Amazon. And I would Google what to do for asthma. And I'd buy all these little patches, and I would just try to Google my way to good health. And that didn't really work. Like I didn't find any of those solutions. And so for a couple of my issues, I did end up needing to have a minor surgery to help with my hormone issues, but they said that those would come back, and I had to have physical therapy for a couple of the accidents. But in the middle of that, Young Living came into my life, and my life was dramatically and drastically changed through the power of plants. Like I literally, at this point in time, my time of the month sneaks up on me. I literally was able to throw away all that medication by making sure that, number one, as Sheila brought out, toxins were removed from my home. That was the number one key for me being able to breathe. Like I never knew it was possible to be able to breathe in my life. Like I used to have to take Flonase and Benadryl and Zyrtec every day of my life, every day of the season. And sometimes I still couldn't get out of bed for allergies. I couldn't be around animals. And taking the toxins, taking the plugins, taking the candles, taking all those toxins out of my house, I don't even have to worry about it. I don't even have allergies anymore. I don't have to worry about asthma. Completely changed. Don't need even any of that medication. And in my hormone issues as well, taking the toxins out made a huge, huge difference. And so for me, when all of these radical changes happen in such a short amount of time through the power of plants, I was like, the world needs to know. Like I have to share this immediately. Like there was no question in my mind that I would keep this to myself, because all of the changes happened so fast for me when it came to supporting my hormones and supporting my emotions and being able to breathe. And even with my mood and everything, that I was like, I have to share immediately. And the benefits that I've gotten from sharing have been tremendous. And so with that, I'm going to go into some of the data, the actual data that we have in our presentation, and we'll come back and wrap up our stories a little bit more and answer any questions. So again, this is why now is the best time to start a business and why home-based business might be a great place to start. But we always want to be able to speak into your lives and share our stories first so you understand our motivation. So that's what we started with. Now, I just love this first slide. So these are companies created between 2008 and 2011. How many companies you see on the screen do you know? How many of them do you use? I know all of these companies. I use WhatsApp like crazy with my international friends. I use Instagram every day. I've used Square for my business. I've used Uber. I use Groupon. Groupon is like my favorite way to try some new like alternatives, like go to the new place to have salt therapy or try the like Groupon is my jam. Pinterest, a lot of people get on there, and I know what Venmo is. I don't personally use it, but I know what it is. So we are in a time where the economy is not necessarily the best. It has dipped down because of what we've gone through. But this was a time when the economy was in super crisis. And these companies took advantage of a need and they created multi-million-dollar companies during a recession. So just keep that in mind. Now, what we are talking about is a network marketing company. And we know for most people, that is a dirty word. Like we see people get on Facebook and they say, I'm looking for an all natural deodorant. No MLMs, please. Like we know that, right? And that's because there are people in the past who have done a lot of damage to this industry. But it is an industry, and there are some benefits from people who have spent the time to learn the skills in the industry and have been successful in the industries. So what are some of those benefits? You can build it part-time or anytime. Seriously, we have people here from all over the country that are able to join us in a learning experience right now. I am an extrovert. I love teaching people in person. And prior to what we've gotten into now, I did classes in person. I did spa parties. I did hands-on stuff. And I did probably 1 or 2 times a month stuff online. But then the world changed and I was able to pivot my entire business and change my education to completely online without any issues. So those first two, building it part-time and anytime and building it anywhere, is definitely true. And I have a full-time job. I also have a volunteer job, and I'm able to build this part-time in the time that I have left. You can launch a general network marketing business for as little as $500 to $1,000, but we, with our company that we love and represent, we can get you an option to launch it with a lot less than that. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So you have a complete education system and a support team and people you can go to that train you in the business. Just like if you were to buy a franchise, this is basically an online franchise. If you went and bought a McDonald's, you would have a full training system in order to do that. We have all of that for you here as well, just like any other franchise. Your business partners have a vested interest in you. So the way for an individual to be successful is to help other people be successful. You can create enough tax deductions alone to make it worthwhile. This right here is amazing. I am a high income earner. I am what is considered like a middle management level in the automotive industry. I am a 6-figure earner. I am in the 8% percentile of income earners in my area. And I had a couple promotions and increased my income in a very rapid rate. And I can tell you the last promotion that I had, I probably would have saw 0% of that if I didn't have a business to create tax deductions. And I have traveled all over the world, tax deductible. And this is one of the benefits that I just love the most and is awesome before you reach even your full-time income with this. You can learn while you earn. So the day that you start your online franchise, you can start to share with somebody that next day. We provide these classes 2 to 3 times a week. Just invite people to these classes as soon as you can so that you can start to earn while you're learning. You can earn an extra $500, $1,000, $5,000 or more a month. And we have people on this call that are doing that. And with time and success, your income will be produced by hundreds or perhaps thousands of people. So again, those are some benefits that individuals on this call have experienced and that you should think about when it comes to this particular industry. So here are some network marketing myths. So myth 1, getting and on the ground floor is the best path to success in a network marketing company. This is a myth because it may or may not be true. Every single business goes through a business life cycle. Again, I have a degree in business, right? So there are a lot of companies that it's actually better to be in the maturity phase of that business life cycle. Sheila talked about when she got in 12 years ago, the essential oils were kind of still a weird frou-frou little thing, but now they're at your gas station. Like they're everywhere. Like they're at Walmart. Like people understand a little bit about essential oils, and it's not that weird. This is like the perfect time to get in. And in addition to that, our company that is in year 26 is having record-breaking years last year, and this is going to be another record-breaking year. So riding the momentum that we have right now is going to be amazing. You definitely did not need to get in any sooner than today. Network marketing is an opportunity for someone who is not doing well financially to make a lot of money. So I already explained my current situation, so this is definitely a myth. I am not in this industry because I am poor and need to make money, although a person can use it that way. I am in it because I want to help people, number one. Again, like I have been so tremendously blessed that I would share this for free. Like I've been so tremendously blessed that people need it. So that's my number one motivation, is to help people to live holistically. And my second is to get my time freedom so that I can devote even more time to helping people. For example, I am bilingual in Spanish. People will come to me all the time and say, hey, do you tutor people in Spanish? Like, with what extra time would I do that? No, I work 45 hours for an automotive company, and then I do 28 hours attempt to in my volunteer Bible preaching. I don't have time to do that. But I know lots of people who have used this because you can work it anywhere and you can work it part-time and choose. They have been able to do more in their spiritual lives and to move to other places. And that's my ultimate goal, is to be able to serve and do more when it comes to mentoring, coaching, and in my spiritual life. And the network marketers succeed by being in the right place at the right time. That is, again, it is a myth. It is false. We have seen so many people that have came in the past 2 years and they have just killed it in this business. And then the big guys make all their money off the little guy. Again, you are paid a percentage of your team, just like you do in any types of sales. But I have seen individuals who work harder, who are underneath other people, get paid more. So this is just a complete myth as well. Now, why health and wellness? So again, now is the best time to start a business, and a home-based business isn't as bad as maybe you thought it could have been. It is a great opportunity with great benefits, but why choose health and wellness? Well, the global wellness market reached approximately $4.75 trillion in 2019, and it continues to grow. It grows at a rate of 6.4%, and the categories include complementary medicine, preventive medicine, healthy eating, nutrition, weight loss, spa economy, physical activity, personal care, beauty, anti-aging, and more. And there's lots of statistics when it comes to that complementary medicine that more and more people are looking for that. More and more people are looking for acupuncture and what natural solutions that I can do. My doctor that I go to, the hospital that I go to here, Henry Ford, they offer all of that alternative medicine. Like I'm currently in the process of meeting with a holistic doctor for her to look at my actual diet and to make adjustments based on my blood work of what I actually need to eat. And the best part is that Young Living touches on every single one of these areas. So the company started 26 years ago as Young Living Essential Oils, and we talk a lot about the essential oils, but we have healthy eating, we have nutrition, we have weight loss, we have spas that you can visit in Ecuador, we have a complete line that was designed around triathletes and people that run decathlons. We have personal care, we have the best beauty, makeup, skincare, anti-aging. We have it all. So when it comes to that 4.75 trillion, we are completely poised to be able to gather that. The question is just, how much do you need to create your time freedom and to be able to support your lifestyle? And then why Young Living? There's lots of health and wellness out there, but why many of the people on this team have chosen Young Living is, I know one of my first and foremost is because they own their own farms. Like when you go to a farm and you see the process and you're able to put your hands in the dirt and you're able to take home a piece of lavender that you actually touched, you get a whole new sense of what, like, organic isn't even nothing. Like seed to seal, and you can go to seedtoseal.com and learn more about that. It's just a whole nother level of standard. I've had the privilege of going to 2 farms. I actually went to one in Croatia when I went to a visit to Europe, and the passion that the people work at the farm and the love that they put in it is just like none other. And actually this weekend, there's an online event called On the Grow, and they're going to give you a virtual farm tour. So that'll be a real good sneak peek just for someone that hasn't been to a farm yet, and get you excited about going to a farm next year when we have our convention. Again, we're in year 26. So 25 plus years of actual business experience with about 15 years of research that came before that. And the largest selection of essential oils, oil-infused products, and toxic-free lifestyle brands. We touch just about everything. For whatever reason, at the end of the month, I will have all types of well-intentioned good friends, and they will send me a direct message, and they'll be like, I'm trying to hit some sales goals. Can you buy something for me? And 99% of the time, it's something that I offer in my own online store. And I'm like, you should probably just check out or ask me a couple questions before you do this. Because, I mean, I love helping out other business owners. Love, love, love it. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to come asking me to buy your makeup when I already have makeup, I'm just going to stay with the makeup that I have on my online store. So that is the data that we wanted to share with you today. And to close out, thank you, glad you enjoyed it, Jerry. I just wanted to ask Sheila if you would close out with a little bit of closing thoughts about how your life has changed, even just financially, and the multiple streams of income you've been able to develop by using Young Living as your starting point.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Yes, absolutely. But before I get into that, I've been sitting here taking notes on some of the things that you've been saying, and I want to highlight a couple of things. One is for people, it's never too early to get started with Young Living, and it's never too late. And when you kind of compare the two of us, I was listening to you, and what struck me is you saying being 30 and feeling 50, right? And so that's where I put that. It's never too early to get started. I got started with my kids when they were all young, 17 years old to, I think my youngest was like 2 or 3 at the time, right? So it's never too early to start improving your health. And then it's never too late. In my case, I'm in my 50s and I feel more like I'm in my 30s, right? So you can turn it around, right? It's all about turning that around and making your health a priority right now. And so why that industry, the health and wellness industry, that's exactly why people are finding out that the way that they've been doing things may not be the best way for their health. More and more people are realizing that. And so therefore, people are looking and seeking and searching for solutions. And even though I was healthy back when I found it, or when I first started my health journey, I was young and I was healthy, but I was still seeking solutions because I realized, because of my mom actually died relatively early in her life, and she was diabetic, and I realized I did not want to suffer as I know she suffered. And I know she would not have wanted me to suffer the way that I know that she suffered. And so I started looking for those solutions very early in my life and applied them early. So it's both preventative and it's also solution-based for some of the things that may be occurring in your life or in the lives of people that you know and love, especially right now. And so I just wanted to kind of touch on that and touch on the tax deductions. I'm just pulling out these different little points, right? My sister right now, she's in Houston and she's in housing, like she sells housing for a builder, and it's booming. She is booming. And guess what? She called me and she said, I'm making too much money. Some of the tax breaks that I used to be able to get, they've cut those out. How can I have Young Living in my life and use it as a tax break? Okay, so when we talk about why right now, even though we know that there are some people that need a lot of people who need that second stream of income to pivot and start bringing in money, she actually needs to pivot to try to save some of her money that she's making. And so just like there is, you know, both sides of the coin. That's why this works so good. That's why this is the best time, because it's for both sets of people. It's for the working mom and or the career person who needs to save some of that money in taxes, and it's for the stay-at-home mom like I was, and it's for the healthy, and it's for the ones who are seeking solutions for their health. It just answers every question. And then to answer your question, it's for those who are looking for solutions in their finances, both ways, whether you're making a lot of money or you're not making a lot of money. And it helps both. I just want to say everybody. I mean, it sounds like if you're for everybody, you're not for anybody, but that's not true in this case. It works for everybody. So for me in my life, during that time that Tanisha talks about, when those companies got started, that's actually when my husband had to end his company around that time. It wasn't, he actually didn't pivot when things started changing, and he really needed to shift his business online even back then. And he didn't, and he was an entrepreneur, and it didn't happen. And so, but what was already in place? What was already in place was my home-based business while I was raising my kids, doing it part-time. And that was in place, and that was enough to help us during that time and get over that hump. So it is, yes, another, at that time, it was the only stream of income for a short time. And then it also ended up leading into me being able to follow other passions of mine. I was able to publish a prayer journal, which is another passion of mine. And then we were able to purchase a horse barn facility as well, and have, you know, the whole picture fit together, as well as travel opportunities that I got from winning different contests where we offer travel. And we're in the start of another contest right now, which I'm looking forward to winning some more travel. So it is, like I said, it becomes a lifestyle. It becomes your go-to. It becomes your family, your extended family and friends. I've never met Tanisha in person. I've never met her in person. We met online and instant connection. We had several things in common. Young Living was the one thing we had in common. The other thing that we had in common was the community, the Black community. We had that in common, the same goals and the same aspirations as far as sharing and getting this information out to our community. It was just instant connection. And we connected. I do it all the time. Did it more in person before, the last few months, but it's still there. It's still all there. So the support, just the richness of it extends beyond the money, but the money helps. The money definitely helps.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I just want to close out a little bit of my story as well. So I came out of college in 2002, and was in the automotive industry in 2004. And I want you guys to think back to that first slide of people who took action in the 2008 period, because I was one of the people that was affected being in the automotive industry. My then husband at the time was in the automotive industry. He lost his job and I was not making a lot of money. And I decided I'm going to find another job. You're going to get into a different industry. He went into the medical industry so we could diversify. And I'm not going to lose my house. I'm not going to lay down and die. I'm going to act so that I can have a better life. And that decision to act is what propelled me from making $40,000 a year to being a six-figure earner, because I decided not to lay down when there was crisis, because I decided to act. And if you are here today, you have an opportunity in front of you. And there's going to be two types of people here. If this is one of your first classes, you want to get off of this and say, okay, how can I be down? Like, how do I, first of all, get my health together? Because that is the first and foremost, right? Like, whether you are feeling amazing and great already because you are a natural person and you want to take it to the next level, or if you're experiencing things like depression and hormone issues, we have solutions for you to take you to where you need to be. That's the first thing. How do we get your wellness plan in place? And then the second thing is this training system that you talked about. How can I be down so that I can start with you today and tomorrow start sharing with people to get money? And if you have only been around for just that health and wellness part, today is the day to be like, okay, you talk about these online systems that different teams have. Where is that? How can I dig into it? How can I move fast through that information so that I can start to generate an income and get to where I need to be? So that is what we want to share. If anyone has any questions, I'll open back up the chat. Anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can feel free to unmute yourself.
I have a question, kind of, sort of. So Sheila, so I was recently listening to Brian Bean, who's one of my favorites, and he was talking about the business doesn't start the day you purchase like a membership or a kit or something like that. It starts the day you start doing the business properly. So in your journey, because I know you said you've been around for like 12 years, when did you make a decision to really like take the business and run with it?
I actually did not start until my very first convention that I went to, and that was about a year and a half later. At the beginning, I was just interested in product, and the product had helped me so much that I was basically putting it in everybody's face. I was like, oh, you have this going on? I have an oil for that. Or this going on. And I was just giving away oils. I was so excited about them and what I was learning about them and how they helped me. So I, after a while though, if you're going to give away your oils, and share, you might as well take advantage of everything that Young Living has to offer. They have that wellness portion, but then they also have the abundance portion. And I figured it out. Oh, there is more to Young Living, more to help, more than just my health, even though health is very important. So I would say it took about a year and a half to get to that point. It doesn't need to take that long for people these days. But again, it was sort of a different time. All those systems weren't in place back then for us to really grab hold of this business. And when I started, I'm sure I started imperfectly, and it was still good. It still worked out for me, right? So I'm just saying that to say, even if you don't feel like you can start perfectly, there's two things that matter: that you get on the product and love the product, and that part is just a given. And then the other thing is that you just share from the heart, and some of those, and people will see that. So some of those imperfections as you get started are okay, but you'll learn how to even be more effective in your sharing and in your business, and treat it like a business.
Thank you. Okay, so we have 2 more questions. So my friend Jerry, everybody say hi to Jerry.
Hi,
He is
Jerry.
actually an expert in culinary when it comes to gastrointestinal things, and he is actually into Chinese medicine, and he and I are planning a really exciting class for you guys in August. So I'm happy he was able to join us today, because I do craniosacral and I do all the other stuff that he's already familiar with, and he's an expert in that area. Because when you like start going alternative, you just keep on going. You just keep on adding more and more stuff on it. So, Jerry, you had a question.
So I just wanted to say hello to everybody. I really love this. Like, I don't really know much about business yet. I'm just graduating, and I'm really trying to find out what's out there. I've been wanting to open a small business from home, whether it's catering or something, for a long time. And it's a big jump. Like right now, I'm just trying to get a restaurant job. So this would be something completely different and really nice for me right now.
Yep. Well, we look forward to you joining the team, and the thing is that the training system prepares you for everything else. Like, I'm in the process of setting up success coaching, possibly like with an individual that does some coaching. And so my sister is also an author. So like, we started with this as our home-based business, and it gave us the training to continue to create multiple streams of income. So this is a great place for you to start.
Yeah.
And Tavis, did you have a comment or question?
Yes. I know this is a business session, but I wanted to go all the way back to the very beginning when you were, I think it was both you and Sheila, you were talking about allergies. And if things were normal today and we were able to gather together, whether it would be at work or religious services, you would literally be told, don't wear perfume, don't wear anything that's scented, because people have allergies, sinus problems. Does essential oils fall in that category? Has anyone ever experienced that?
So I am allergic to 5 different types of trees. When I went to the allergist at 11 years old, they tested me for 48 different things, 40 on my back, 8 on my arm. I was allergic to 38 of the 48. I could not go outside. I cannot be around perfumes. I have never, ever, ever had an essential oil that has caused me an allergic reaction. Not even the tree ones. So I'm allergic to the trees outside because the essential oils remove the proteins. And this was verified by one of my the recent allergist I went to in the last 6 months. He verified this for me, that when you remove the proteins from these entities, it does not cause an allergic reaction. So people can definitely have a reaction to putting on an essential oil because they might have toxins, or it creates an irritation, or because it's a hot oil and you need a carrier oil. So I'm not saying that people don't react at all, but my experience and information from doctors that are not associated with essential oils, again, my allergist that I had a conversation with 6 months ago, you cannot have an allergic reaction to an essential oil because there's no protein in it. Now, if a person starts coughing or they have something on their skin when there's essential oils around because of that toxicity level, I would definitely respect their wishes, and I would turn off the diffuser and I would do whatever. If someone says to me that they're reacting to the way that I smell, then you can put them on the bottom of your feet and not smell around them. You can still use them internally. You can use the supplements. So I'm not going to disagree if 1 in 100 people state that they are getting an allergic reaction because I put too many essential oils in. I would respect what they say, and I would try to minimize my use around them still. But from a scientific perspective, you can't have an allergic reaction to it.
Right. They just don't know it. Let me address the workplace, into the workplace, because yes, there are workplaces that will have that. And I'm glad they do, because perfumes are toxic. And if I was in the workplace, I don't want to smell anybody else's perfumes either. But it's not really a but when you think about it though, it's never really scent free, because people wash their hair and there is scents. They don't have non-scented shampoo. So you can smell people's hair when they're scented, but that is acceptable, right? You might be able to smell somebody's deodorant. I don't know if you get close enough. There are some unscented deodorants, but there's scented deodorants. The workplace isn't going to tell you you can't wear your deodorant, right? And so what are some ways around, because that's what I heard in that question. What are some ways maybe around, or to tell people how to deal with that in the workplace once that opens back up? Tanisha said bottom of the feet. So that is one way to, if you wanted to oil up before you go out for your day, bottom of the feet. You have on shoes. In the summertime, you might have on sandals. That might not, work at that time. But when you have your stocking, your socks on, your shoes, you can do that. Internally, you can easily, we have oils for internal use. You can put them in a capsule. If you want to get your daily amount of oil, you can put them in a veggie capsule, take it, you can put it in water, drink it. So that's another way to get your oils in, even in your water bottle, glass water bottle, while you're at work. You know what? Essential oils make great deodorant. If someone says, oh, this is simple, I'm like, that's my deodorant, or that's my shampoo. Go ahead and put some oils in your shampoo and wash your hair and go to work, right? They're not going to tell you that you can't wear, you're not going to do a strong where like the whole office would be like, whoa, right? And then the other thing is, once you get back home, we don't have to apply oils 24/7. So once you get back home, enjoy your oils. Enjoy them at night and overnight. When you wake up in the morning, you're not likely to smell, for the aroma to still go through your shower and when you go on to work. So you can still honor what's going on at work and still get plenty of essential oils in your lifestyle.
And usually for me, I have people following me at work. Like people will be it's usually the other reaction. They're like, oh my goodness, what do you have on? Like it's very rare that, I think the only time, maybe one time in 5 years, somebody at work has said something, but it's honestly been because I have the oils in my bag. It wasn't me. It was because I was basically carting around. And what will usually happen is that their nose starts to run because it's actually doing what it's supposed to. Like they're smelling the Raven or the peppermint and their nose starts to run. It's actually detoxing them and they don't want their nose to run is usually what happens. Yeah. And so they think, oh, your smell is causing me to have a reaction. I'm like, no, actually, if you stayed around it for the rest of the day, you wouldn't have any sinus issues anymore.
Right,
but I'll put it away in the drawer. I'm not going to bother you.
Right. Yeah. They just don't understand it.
Tavis, I just wanted to add when I first started with essential oils, I had a reaction to the lavender oil with Young Living. It wasn't because the oil was bad, but it was because I was so full of toxins. So once I started to detox my own body and take the toxins out of my house, I no longer have a reaction to lavender.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
All righty. Any other questions before we close it out, guys? Well, alrighty. I appreciate everyone for joining us today. Again, the replay will be available in an hour or so in the actual event, so you can go back and watch it, take any notes, and share it with anyone that you would like. All right. And yeah, we'll definitely let you know when our next class is upcoming as well. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing evening. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.